Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5th edition live play that meets every Tuesday night. Last time, our intrepid adventurers were trekking their way through the Feywild in the care of the Mendis family in their moving magical caravan. They had been having some trouble with the way time affected their bodies and the way time flows in the Feywild, as it is, especially when you are not in one of the city-states, the elven city-states, it is a little chaotic, as might make sense of the Feywild. They had freed the wagon of a hole and gotten away from the emissary of a Fey lord or lady who they were told likes to elect mortals before continuing on their way. They'd finally gotten that rest that they realized they'd missed while doing their magic lesson, and found that they slept through an entire day, waking up the following morning for breakfast, after which everyone broke off, knowing that as they approach their final destination, Autumn's Elegy, the domain of Zintharamil, Leah's patron, and the place that supposedly Raiken is being kept, that this may be the end of their time with the Mendises, and so they sought to fulfill any final needs they might have. Lair went to speak with his mother and introduce her to Nalia via Ash's telecommunication power. Jebel and Vendar went to the roof of the caravan to utilize the still that they were told about up there to experiment, as Jebel wanted to try to create ability drain potions, poisons that drain abilities. Leah went to take a bath. Tatsuya was dragged off to learn to juggle and gained a point to his acrobatics for it. Cyrus went to study more arcane magic using Lair's book, the Book of Endless Pages. So he got an extra hour of that. And Yukikaze spent some quality time with Papa Mendis, learning more about the wonders and dangers of the Feywild from a native, and being asked to share some stories and information about Lair that his father hasn't been privy to during his time away. So as we finished last time, the caravan was rolling steadily toward Autumn's Elegy, now in sight. Anyway, sorry about that. I said Tatsuya. You finish your time with the Mendis cousins, and they are taking the sandbags and the balls and the other things that they were using to teach you juggling with back, putting them away, kind of pointing out, the things that you should continue to watch for and practice to perfect this skill that is definitely required for your continued survival.
Of course.
And you've, spent in your own reckoning a few days in this wagon with them. This quality time being the most you've had one-on-one with any cousin. But you've developed a rapport there, and so, they're being glib. You are comfortable with them as they do this. And as they come away, so there is camaraderie here. if momentary, if this understanding that you are leaving, is present, there is still this momentary camaraderie there. And as they turn to go, you feel this moment crystallize, almost like everything slows down. And you know that you have felt this once or twice before, as you feel this separation from the world around you, like as if time stops, but you keep moving, you keep going. And it is as everything around you slows and dulls and dims out, separating you into this solitary darkness, you feel a presence around you. And as this presence, this power surrounds you, you look to your faith, and you recognize the feeling. The protective warmth, the righteous fury that is Bahamut.
Tatsuya will stand still and kind of go down to one knee, waiting for the coming message that he thinks he's going to get.
You hear, although the sound, you can't tell if it is external or internal to your own mind necessarily, the thudding of heavy steps, as though a great creature, a full-size dragon, perhaps, is stomping towards you. And as it draws near, you find that the great crashes of this heavy body suddenly cease and are replaced by the footsteps more familiar to you, those of another dragonborn, a medium creature though larger than a human or an elf, heavier, and you can hear the rattle of armor as it approaches. And you next hear a draconic voice, speaking draconic, I mean to say, the language, as a person stops before you, their chain, the chain of their armor still rattling, and they say, "Rise, son of the Lumos."
Tatsuya will do so.
As you...
Lord, he'll also address, Lord Bahamut.
As you rise, you see before you a silver-scaled dragonborn, wearing gleaming armor that is tinged with gold and trimmed in blue cloth. And he smiles at you in his reptilian way, and nods at your honoring of the name Bahamut, before opening his mouth and continuing this. Child of Arcosia, your mission does not go well, it seems.
No. Seems that the group has other ideas of how things should go down. They do not see your wisdom in destroying the evil that is Tiamat and her kin.
And others outside of. He pauses a moment, seeming to look for words, before finally deciding on this group. How fare you in gathering others to your cause?
Well, I haven't been able to go to the cities and praise your name and gather up forces. The forces I had were destroyed trying to unseal the last of Tiamat's skin so that we could move forward. And after that, I was captured and then freed thanks to joining this group. I was hoping that with this group and with my brother that we would I would be able to change their minds. And so that with this group that has been all over the country, has made a name for themselves, it would be much easier to join the world into one. But so far I have failed.
He nods, seeming to take in your words, mull them a moment, before making eye contact with you again, and saying, "Failure in the battle is acceptable. Tatsia Lumas. Failure in the war cannot be accepted."
I apologize, your great one.
You have not to apologize for, son of Arcosia. There are those who will understand. Do you believe your brother would side with you still?
I believe my brother doesn't necessarily understand the route I took to get to this point. But I believe that he, in his heart, would want the dragons destroyed as well.
Dwell not on the means. A champion in my name understands that the ends are what are paramount. Should we finally succeed in removing the evil of my sister, this world will be free to know true justice. Forever.
Will continue my endeavor to persuade the group.
The situation with the scale, Whittemere, is an unfortunate setback. But I trust that you will find a way to remedy it. This world has suffered so long under the tyranny of my sister's children, and I fear my power against them will wane should it drag on much longer. We cannot allow them to find victory. We must close all doors to that. I see the only option is to remove the head of the snake.
I agree wholeheartedly, O Great One. It is time that that evil must be struck from the world.
My followers are many and widely spread. I have known of those traveling to find ways to add their souls to this fight, their hearts and minds united against that which has brought them calamity. You will find strength in their numbers.
Very well. If I somehow can't change the minds of this group, I can at least continue forward on my own to gather forces of those who follow in Bahamut's name.
He straightens a bit more, nodding in appreciation, and says, "You will make a fine champion, my name. But you should know that there are many who claim this title. Some are concurrent with your own lifespan, and not all serve me in the same respects as you, though they are all loyal."
Believe me, I know there's one in this very group who actually has your armor.
Yes. A former champion of mine, well respected by the people of this world, I believe is guiding his actions. He is not against me, but he does not serve the greater view. Not at this time.
Is there no way that you can speak to him?
I have. I have given my commands, but all champions choose their method of following my tenets. I have impressed upon him the import of the current war. But, as you well know, and the Dragonborn before you spreads his hands, showing that they are empty, I have only so much direct influence across the planar boundaries. That is why I employ clerics and paladins, instruments of my justice, such as yourself, to touch the world in ways that I cannot directly do so.
Indeed. Well, hopefully your word might reach him to persuade his beliefs. But until then, I will take the mantle that you request, and I will put an end to Tiamat and her dragons myself.
I am fully confident that you have the power to do so. And know that your service does not go unseen and unrespected. However this goes, Tatsuya Lumos, your name will be heralded as one of this world's champions of Bahamut.
Thank you, O Great One.
Know that the loss of your comrades in the southern swamp was felt gravely by myself and my angels. And we shall ensure through your efforts that they were not in vain.
They knew what they were doing, and they gave their lives for a purpose. I know that they are up there now, looking down, ready for victory.
I must say something that you may find strange, but I need to know that you understand the precarious nature of this business. People who fight in my name and uphold the values that I espouse are champions of Bahamut, and I would hope that they will not interfere with one another so long as they are serving the true purpose. if he is serving people, bringing down tyrants and protecting those who cannot protect themselves, I expect you to allow him to continue to do so.
I will not get in his way as long as he does not get in mine. If they get in my way in slaying these kin of Tiamat, that is where I must draw the line.
I am happy to know that there are those who can see the larger picture that this world paints, who can understand the sacrifice which must be made for the greater good. Is there anything in this moment that you would ask of me that I might help you succeed in your mission?
The only thing I might ask is when I return to the material plane, I need guidance to where I should begin journeying next to round up the believers of Bahamut to recreate my army so that we can fight against the dragons.
I can spare you angels to help in this endeavor. They know
You are
the
most gracious, Lord Bahamut.
just rule, righteousness, and the protection of those who cannot protect themselves, and the dismantling of evil organizations, especially those of my sister. These are the tasks we hold above all others, and these are the tasks I entrust to you and my followers upon your world. Go, in my light, save this world from her immolating touch.
I will do so. Praise Lord Bahamut, the Great One.
Praise me when all is just, and there is not suffering. Until then, my warrior. And he begins to fade away. And as he does so, the time seems to begin to tick once more, things resuming their previous movement. This separation of you from the rest of reality ending, and you are returned to the wagon.
Once it all fades away, Tatsuya will beat his chest twice with his right fist and bow his head before going about uh, normally.
You will catch odd glimpses from the Mendises nearby who don't quite know why you did that, but they don't say anything to you.
And he won't say anything to them.
I wanted to quickly jump to Leah for a moment.
Yeah.
You had said that you wanted to take a bath last time. Now, there are a few hours. You could spend that entire time bathing, but if you did not, is there any last things you want to do before the wagon arrives in Autumn's Elegy?
Well, I can't sleep more. So, I might snoop around.
Snoop around. Okay.
This place is in a wagon I probably haven't seen. This place is bigger on the inside, sort of, so...
Sure. After
Just
you come out of the
explore
bath.
different rooms.
Yeah, after you come out of the bath, one of these places that you've never seen is immediately presented to you, as there is a draft in this hallway that was not there before, and you look over and see that there is a shaft of light coming down from the ceiling at the far end of the hallway, where a ladder leads up into the wooden boards. That wasn't there before.
I'm gonna check it out.
Okay. You ascend this ladder, newly bathed and feeling good, and find that it leads out on top of the house. You are outside, the wind blowing around you, gusting these motes of magical light in a halo about your head, and you hear the talking, discussion, arguments of two of your companions, Jebel and Vendar, as they are fiddling with this rather terrifying-looking contraption of metal and glass and fire in this corner of a small flat platform on top of the house. It has, carrying on the wind that's blowing around you, you can smell a plethora of aromas and odors, as they seem to be doing something alchemy related. Again, you are immediately reminded of when Vendar has made poisons.
Mm.
And they seem to be having little success at what they are trying to do. You don't see anything else of import, and they don't appear to notice you, as they are quite engrossed in their work, unless you wish to call out to them.
Well, knowing who these people, knowing Vendar, I already assumes that he knows she's there, even though he doesn't show it.
He seems busy. You do see squeakers on his hat, peek over the brim, and you think it waved at you.
I'm gonna turn around and go try to find other rooms.
Okay. As you know, the hallway is mostly bedrooms. You've seen the two that you inhabited. As you creep along, you can hear voices in other rooms belonging to the various Mendus cousins. You can nudge doors, see which ones will let you peek in. Some of these seem to be more single rooms as opposed to having multiple beds in them. A couple that give. In a couple you can see that there are cousins, visiting one another and speaking. You do catch a couple conversations about you, about the Fae, about you as the party, and the dangers that have befallen the family since you all joined. There seems to be some resentment about that. Others, at times, these conversations veer more toward, well, at least it's been interesting, or, hey, they fought it off. You're not completely without allies in these kinds of conversations. Others are people wondering at where the wagon will head to, if it's not to stay at Autumn's Elegy and perform. Some complaining that they know the dangers of the Fae, but they'd still like to get to see and experience some for once in their lives. But this upper hallway seems to be primarily bedrooms. You can roll an investigate check to see if there's any little secret pockets, perhaps.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do that. That's a d20. Let's see. Stats. Need my stats. Okay. I haven't done investigation in so long that I cannot remember what my stats are on that.
I never know my stats offhand.
I remember some things. Because I got something that's like plus 10, so those are easy to remember. let's see, investigation. That's not impressive. Okay, so he's 18.
18's pretty good.
Yeah, because the die roll was good, but I got only +1 in the investigation, so.
Still pretty good. You do go tipping about, sneaking, tapping on things, looking for things, and you do manage to discover, through your tapping, a couple hidden panels that, when pressed, kind of spring out and give way to little alcoves and pockets. One of these contains a number of pictures, portraits, sketches, paintings done. You immediately, in one of these, recognize Ma and Pa, who seem to be in this kind of ridiculous outfit. It's an oil painting, and they're very colorful. They look kind of like somewhere between a dancer's unitard and I don't even know what, some sort of a jumpsuit, coveralls. You imagine this is the outfits that they once performed in, and you notice that beside them are two elven youths. One you can... Larry, your hair has always been dark, right?
It's always been light. He has white hair.
Right. I don't know why I keep forgetting
been.
that. Okay. Yes. You do, and I just wanted to make sure it hadn't changed since childhood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You believe you recognize Lair by his unusually white hair for what looks to be a teenage boy.
Yeah.
And on the other
Lee got platinum blonde hair, so she too got very light hair. So that's fair.
And upon the other side, you see a teenage-looking girl with longer tresses, wearing the same outfit as the parents. You can see a bit of resemblance in her face, around the eyes, the way the brows come toward the bridge of the nose, between her and Lara Mendes. But there isn't anything written on this parchment except for a single number.
A number? What number?
A rather large number. You imagine it's a year, but it doesn't... You can't really relate it to the years you use in the material plane. You might be able to ask about it if you wanted to, but you yourself don't have the experience to read this number. And understand its meaning. You're just guessing that if you're going to put a number on a picture, it's probably a date. That just seems to be reasonable. This is just the most standout and meaningful of the pictures you feel, just because you recognize Lair in it. You do see other portraits of different cousins, a couple of whom you recognize as being in the house now. Some you definitely didn't see among these fellows that you've met in the couple days you spent here. Another alcove seems to be filled with bottles of liquid. Someone's secret stash.
I want to check out these bottles.
Okay. Most of them seem quite normal. You've traveled around, you've been to taverns and the like. You recognize liquor. You recognize bottles of alcohol. They seem to be relatively speaking, normal glass bottles with normal-looking liquid inside them. Some of them seem a bit magic. The glass itself having, like, flecks within it that seem to be like butterflies flapping their wings in motion.
I activate my detect magic, since that is a free thing for me.
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely some small amounts of magic on that bottle and some others. There is one that glows rather a lot.
Well, checking that out.
Okay. Deactivating your detect magic so that you can see past the glow of the magic aura, you find that there is a bottle, containing, maybe a half or even possibly a quarter liter of fluid. Seems pretty small. And without your magic sight on, what you see in your hand is a solid black fluid that, as you tip and tilt this bottle, seems to almost flow like sand as opposed to water. And as you stare deeper and deeper into it, you find that its depths cannot be plumbed by your mind. It almost feels as if the bottle is pulling you in as you stare into its contents.
Well, that's terrifying.
It immediately triggers some memories, and you find that within the depths of this darkness, you feel you can see the glimmering, multicolored stars that you remembered after recovering from the intellect devourer.
Okay. She lets out a shriek and instinctively chuck the bottle. Like, toss it.
Okay. Are you throwing it into the cabinet with the other bottles, or are you throwing it away down the hallway?
Just whatever's in front of me. It's a response. It's a reaction.
So you're just pushing it away from yourself. Okay, so I imagine that you're still facing into the cabinet, as you were just like pulling out and investigating different bottles and then setting them back. So as this instinctive reaction comes over you, you're going to force the bottle away from you, and it flies back into the cabinet, and you hear the crack and tinkling of breaking glass. And almost immediately you hear voices and footsteps of people saying, "What's going on? Who's there? What's happening out here? Did something break?"
Uh-oh. I'm going to try and escape.
Okay. Are you going to, like, run and hide?
Is there only one way in?
The only way up here from the rest of the house is the staircase that you know leads down to the kitchen. You know that, so that is one method of escape. You also know that there is the roof that you had been to and come back from. That's another option. You know that these are, what you're hearing are people standing up from within their bedrooms and coming to the door, so you don't have long.
I'm gonna run up to the roof.
Okay, alright. I want you to roll me a hide check to see if you can get up there without them noticing that you fled right before they came.
Stealth, then,
Yes.
I guess.
That's what did I say that?
You said hide.
Oh, sorry. I did mean stealth, knowing... I meant stealth. I said hide, knowing that there is one skill in 5th edition that covers both hiding and moving silently.
Yeah.
So, yes, stealth. Please roll me stealth.
I believe this is 15. I think. 17 plus 8. No, 25, I mean.
25 is correct. Okay. You come to your senses very quickly, noticing that people are coming here and you don't want to get in trouble. So you, as quietly and as quickly as you can, dash down the hallway and up the ladder back to the roof, where the only people up here are the wind, the birds, and your two comrades, who seem to be having some success all of a sudden. You see them slapping each other on the back and going, "I think that's it. I think we got it."
I'm gonna sit down next to them and be, if anyone asks, I've been here the entire time.
Vendar and Jebel, as you finally have had a successful test of your poison. Leah suddenly appears there.
Am I still
No, you have recovered.
right now?
You have recovered,
recovered.
and you are celebrating. But you were still like surprised by her appearance there. She is quieter than you realized. I know that your perception is 27, so you would have heard her coming, but you were in the midst of your celebration with Jebel.
Just look like.
What
Hello.
are you up to?
Whatever you are up to, making potions, nice.
Very good. From below, you now can all hear Mendus cousins coming into the hallway and shouting at each other, saying, "What happened? Who was here? Did something break?" And then finally, you hear something go. You you hear a feminine voice go, "Oh no! They got into my stash!" From which another burst of excitement comes, as a lot of people seem to be recognizing for the first time that somebody's been hoarding drinks within the house. And a lot of accusation and arguing starts happening as everybody gets accused of stealing from this poor young woman's stash, and they all roundly deny that it was them.
So what'd you do?
I didn't steal anything, if that's what you're asking. I was just curious, and I might have broken some bottles.
Some.
You might have broken some bottles, yeah.
Just be quiet.
I'm not gonna rat you out.
This guy?
Squeakers appears over the brim of your hat and cocks his head at you. Says, "What do you mean, rat?"
You're no rat. You're my special little boy.
I am a king ferret.
Yes, you are.
Is Vendar saying this out loud?
The things that Fendar says are out loud and understandable by you, yes. The only thing that isn't understandable by you is Squeakers himself.
Which I imagine is slightly frustrating.
It is. It is definitely frustrating because he, by all appearances, is an animal that you should understand. But your look into him had allowed you to know that he is some kind of magical construct.
You understand squeakers now?
Yeah.
Took him
I
long
can
enough.
talk to you.
He's good at what he does, but he's a slow learner.
Not always.
Is squeaker squeaking when he's
Yeah,
talking,
he's
or is
he's squeaking and gesturing. And you feel like he's addressing you, but you have no idea what he's saying.
what is he saying?
He said I'm a slow learner.
I know too well then.
Thinks it took me too long to learn how to talk to him.
Squeaker suddenly just goes very still, like all of the animation gone out of him. It's just sitting there with his hands on the brim of the hat, perched at the edge of a ship. Before he kind of looks down and you see his nose and whiskers wiggle as he looks down over your brow into your eyes. He goes, "You are honest at the weirdest times." I would have lied.
Cute.
What'd you say, Leah?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, what did he say now? What's so funny?
Hey, meathead, she's talking to you.
He thought it was weird that I was honest. He would have lied.
Oh, I mean, he's not wrong.
I just drank a dumb potion.
Apparently, it's still affecting you.
Yeah.
The things you're making?
Yeah. I'm actually curious, but does that have to be imbibed or can it be injected?
Both?
No, that was in character.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bender. You know it's both.
Yeah, both. Should be able to administer it either way.
Good, 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 good.
You designed it to be an injection vector poison.
So what's dumb about it?
It makes you.
And it literally makes you dumb. Lowers your intelligence.
Oh,
By a fair amount.
Honestly, he didn't have far to go, so I don't know why he tried it.
can we
Could've
try
made
to
double
learn
trap.
this?
You all are mean.
Well, that would be interesting. I kind of don't want to waste it.
Why do you want to feeble-mind Laramendus again?
I'm just curious if it would work on him, because he's wearing that, the circlets that I gave him.
What does that do?
It just makes you smart. So I just wonder if it's... What will be stronger, the potion or the circlet?
Out of character, you've worn the circlet.
Yeah.
So you know.
What are the
like,
actual effects of it? Does it give you a plus
Yeah.
intelligence, or does it set your intelligence to a level?
It sets your intelligence to a level.
That probably wouldn't work.
Only one way to find out.
Nolly would approve.
Experiment.
Don't know if she would. Not like that.
Experimentation is at the heart of understanding.
At least not like when she's not around.
I'm confused. Is Laramendus here now? Is he...
No. This,
This is the Laramendus in their head.
Because everything I said was out loud. That was like Leah saying it.
Boys.
I would imagine if the circlet works like my hat, then it probably wouldn't work. But I am eager to try now.
Make me delve back into history and see if I got those mechanics worked out, because I don't remember at this moment. Good.
I know what we had discussed.
I have a feeling, like, I know
I can-
many of the things that we discussed. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering what we settled on.
Yeah, I can type what I think that we had settled on to you, and then you can continue with stuff.
Sure, thank
'Cause I
you.
don't think anyone else would actually know.
Oh.
So
Okay, so,
Jebel is just thinking, and he goes, but then that thing happened in Garland that made him stupid. Like, they cancelled each other out.
Did he have the circlet at that point? Wasn't Leo wearing it that?
No, that's good. I can't remember.
But also, that was like a magical spell that literally made
Yeah,
him
but that's a magical item.
feeble-minded.
But both do the same thing. They both set intelligence.
I don't know. Maybe feeble mind was more powerful than the circlet. I want to
Maybe.
try now. But it took so long to get this to work.
Oh, you only got this much?
Yeah, the first couple attempts produced something else.
Basically hot sauce.
What's that?
Sauce that's hot.
Spicy sauce that you would put on food. This is spicy too, but it makes you dumb.
I mean, I cast magic into those ones. Who knows? Maybe they do something, but not what
There
I
was at
wanted
least
them
not
to
the
do.
desired effect. I didn't feel any dumber when I tried them.
I told you, you're already a pretty low starting point.
Which is mean.
He just sort of, like, leans over the edge of the brim and, like, puts a paw right between your eyes. Like, right on the bridge of your nose. Just keeping you humble, buddy.
Also, we have this one, and I pull out the one that was made from like what was cleaned out of the still before we started experimenting.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
Yeah, I want to find out about this one. Might be cool.
You want to try it?
No, I want to find out what they do. I'm. They make
What
these
better way to
potions,
find out
I
what they
think.
do?
I think the best way is to ask the people who make the potions what the potions do.
Yeah. You're no fun.
It's a shame. It's a shame that they screwed up so many times because I was actually planning on making a potion of dexterity for you.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yes, but I don't have
I
any.
bet we can
reagents
do
left.
it without this, though. It'd just probably take longer.
No, but I don't. I'd have to find the stuff.
Well,
Like
we
I
can
could
find
make it, yeah,
ingredients.
but I
What do you need for that?
I rattle off the list of reagents needed for making potions.
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to find those once we get back to the mortal plane. Or material plane.
Well, I understand they're not very out of character. They're not very exotic, are they? They're just sort of.
If everything works out, we'll be back in Everwatch soon. So I'm sure we'll be able to find everything we need there.
No, I was just asking. The reagents required to make these potions.
Yes.
How exotic are they?
They were exotic enough that you need to go and actually, like, get them with a survival check in a place where they come from, but they were common enough that, like, you could find them here. Like, you basically would be looking for a forest, just like the one you're in. And the fact that this
Yeah,
one's
no,
magical
it's
is
just
even
I
more
don't
helpful.
know. Okay, so I know that about the paywalls and that the
Yeah,
fancier
when
similar
you did your alchemy study and learned to make these potions, you learned what you needed and where to find it. So
So I know that they're in the Feywild and in the.
some are only in the Feywild, but yeah, some are in both.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like some things are exotic. Like I said, some things are exotic enough that you'd have to be here. Luckily, you are.
Okay. I'm going to try to
find
defend
as
our
many of those as
and
we
say.
can.
Actually, before we head off, we should probably go look for some of the bits because I think they only grow around. The Feywild.
Yeah, we should try to get as many of those as we can before we go to.
Yeah.
Maybe we can look for that while they look for Raiken.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave them to that. Let's maybe get started now.
While you're on this moving wagon.
Oh, is it still moving?
Oh yeah.
We gotta wait until we get there. Don't want
Oh,
to
yeah.
hop off the wagon while they're.
You are up on the roof, so you have pretty much the best view in the house. Well, you're not in the house, but you know what I mean. You see these tall, blue-leaved trees all around you, and in the places where the trees part, where there are lower trees, especially looking kind of off in the direction that you're heading, you keep catching glints of sunlight being reflected at you, and as you look in that direction, you notice that there is white stone rising over the trees there, and like copper, brass, metal fixings up there that are glinting in the sunlight. You seem to be closing in on a structure.
Hey, you think that's it?
Could be.
Or hope it is.
You know where?
Sick of traveling this place.
Were you paying attention to where we were going?
And I don't know anything about where we're going other than it's where Zintharamil and Raiken are.
Your wizard friend
you,
said
Leah?
it had Fae in it.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think it was that.
Yulia, does that look like where we're going? Anybody knows it'd be you.
Sorry, I missed the important part. What are we talking about?
Where are you going?
Are we looking out on the road? Is that it?
You're on top of the roof. The building is the structure you're on is still moving, and through the trees every now and then you catch a glint of reflected sunlight. And Vendar has noticed that there seems to be some kind of structure beyond the trees in the direction that you're headed that seems to be composed of white stone and metal.
Does that look familiar to me?
No. The last time you were brought here by Zintharamil was when he became an archfey, and you were surrounded entirely by wild jungle.
And none of the tree, nothing around here looks like jungle.
I mean, a lot of the place has looked like jungle. It's been deciduous forest, jungle forest, fern forest. It's been an entire... It's run the whole gamut of all the kinds of trees you can have. And in places it's just mingling trees that couldn't possibly grow together. No real rhyme or reason to it, almost like it's chaos. But when you rose this morning and got ready, you were able to look out from when the wagon was riding along that cliff edge, and look down, and you could see this one spot in the forest where the trees around it all seemed, lush and normal like the rest of the forest you'd been through. And then as they went in toward the center of this clearing, they seemed to, not age, but go through their seasons, ending in winter, where a lot of the trees around there were just leafless and black. And among those trees, you saw what looked to be a structure, partially completed, made of white and dark stone, next to a lake. And when you came down for breakfast, Pa asked people if they had seen it, and then complained that everybody said they hadn't. He's the only one paying attention to these beautiful sights and sounds of the Feywild while he's driving you all through it. So that is what you know about this.
Okay, then I'm replying to Mandar. I think we're going the right direction. I mean, it looks familiar, sort of, but not exactly. Things
How
might have
old are we?
changed here since Zintharamil first showed me how it looks like here, considering how time works in this place.
You
I
also
really don't like this place.
You also know that Lorelei has been telling you all along while you've been traveling in the material plane that Zintharamil is working to create his own domain.
Yeah.
So if what you're
this-
seeing is an unfinished structure, that could be what you're seeing. That could be what he's been making.
Mm-hmm.
This is just logic that I'm presenting to you that your character would be able to put together.
Yeah. I'm just contemplating whether or not Leah will share too much of that information. But yeah, I believe it might be wise to check out that structure closer.
Well, ideally, Papa Mendes knows where we're going, and we're still headed in the right direction. Hopefully we'll be there soon.
You have snuck some secrets about the Mendes family. You have run into these two on the roof as they play with this still. And you believe that you are coming upon the destination. Am I free to skip to that?
Yeah. But for me, at least.
No, I want to make sure that everybody is where they want to be, characters-wise.
Am I still, like, studying, or am I off in the void somewhere?
You're still studying, as far as I know.
Alright, I'm just making sure since I left early last session.
I mean, since you left and your character wasn't doing anything important at that moment, there wasn't a reason to void you.
Okay, that's right. Yep, just double checking.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be pretty sparing with the void. If it's necessary, I'll use it.
Okay.
Alright then. If everybody's good.
I just want to say, all I would do is try to find out that potion that we made that I don't recognize.
How do you want to do that?
I would just ask someone.
Okay. There's a bunch of cousins in the hallway below you, still arguing about who's been stealing from whom. Or you could bypass that and talk to one of either Ma or Pa, or you could talk to Lair. I think those are how I would break down your options. Who would you like to speak?
Lara Mendes.
Alright. You spend several minutes going down and then back up, and you find that Lara Mendes isn't out in the open anywhere. Also, Ma is missing. You find that Pa and Yukikaze are deeply engaged in a conversation as they roll down the road, and the cousins are having this uproarious argument about the hidden liquor cabinet. But Lair seems to be missing. Now, you do see that there are a couple closed doors here in the hallway. I think they know which room is yours, Lair?
I think that they do, yeah.
You've used it a couple times. Okay, so you know that Lair's bedroom door is closed. So he could be in there. Okay.
Can I hear him talking through the door?
Are you going with Jevil when he goes to ask about this? Because you can.
Sure.
Okay.
Got nothing else to do.
Leah, are you also abandoning the roof with them, or are you going to stay up there where you're safe from the people who might figure out that you broke their bottles?
I'm walking with my friends.
Makes
Being
sense.
with them is my alibi.
There you go.
She's been with them the whole time. Why would she stop that? I mean, I don't know what you're saying suspicious things there.
A knocking comes at your door. Yes, Vendar, you do hear talking on the other side. It's pretty quiet and intimate.
He's in there, but I don't know if we should disturb him. I knock
I
on the
imagine
door.
this is like towards the, like basically like after what we had.
Oh, it's well
done,
after.
essentially?
Yeah, you started with a 5-minute conversation. This is hours later.
Cool.
This is just you've been catching up with your mother.
Yeah. Cool.
You know,
That's what I thought.
The last 200 years, she kind of wants to know everything.
So Laramendus will go and open the door. Yes?
Hi, Albert, I wanted to know, what was the thing on the roof? What's it used for?
It's
And I hold up the potion. I mean, like, specifically, what is this?
do I recognize that from the? I take it from. Do I recognize it from the color and everything? As I'm looking at it, I'll say, well, that's mostly used for creating the more special liquors and other such things that one could really only get in the Feywild. Like summer. The third day, the third brisk day in fall, things of that nature.
The bottle you are holding, very clearly it contains what must be the last of a batch of bottled night.
So as he's like distractedly talking to you, grabbing the thing, holding it, he's going to immediately like stop and just hand it back to you and say, "You should burn that." And he gets this distant look on his face. That should not exist anymore, and it should be burned. Actually, will it burn?
Your mother is going to come up behind you and like kind of like step between you and the bottle defensively.
That's fair. Laramendus is moved.
I didn't realize we had any of that left. It should definitely not be in this house.
I'm going to say that this probably go into a bit more specifics with him here, and I point to Vendar. I say because you know what he's like. If you don't tell him exactly what's going on, he is going to find some way to use this in the most inappropriate time. Just to test and see what happens.
That's why it should be burned.
I'm gonna drink it.
And there has a big old smile on his face. The bottle is now in his hand.
Yeah, there's no getting.
That's what I was expecting.
What's it do?
Laramendus looks like he's collecting himself, and he says it is it is bottled night. It is a thing that should not exist here, as the mechanism for its creation was sold many years ago. It is an extremely dangerous substance that should not be. I have to assume it was the result of an accident, and it should remain that way.
As you talk,
Imagine that Vendar's smile is getting.
Well, that sounds fun.
No, it is terrifying.
What does it do?
It's scary, it's all I know. And I agree with Laramendus, let's get rid of it.
What's it do?
I'm trying to figure out where we put the notes on it. I know we wrote it down.
I have no idea where you put the notes for it. I don't think that I can put into words what it makes one experience. Now, that is what Laramenda says. Sam knows exactly what it does.
Oh, do you have the notes?
No, I just remember.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's the only one who can really tell you.
But so Laramenda says, I cannot put into words what it makes one experience.
As you say that, your mother is going to turn back to you and pull you down, but like to her to put your chin on her shoulder and is just like stroking your hair. being as comforting as she can.
So is there anyone around who can put it into words?
No.
Oh,
I suppose the Fae that we sold the recipe to might, but I would not recommend that.
Well, I'm sure I'll find someone to use it on.
Yeah, Fendar's going to use that at some point. You know that.
It is an evil thing.
I don't think that's going to stop him.
I am just, like, scouring my documents right now, trying to figure out which one I put it in, trying to see if I just titled one for these. I know we talked about it.
Search for int save? Or can you? You probably can't search because you probably wrote it out, not typed it.
Okay, I did find... I don't know why this wasn't pinned. It was in here.
Oh no, we talked about it. You wrote it in your physical notes. It wasn't in Discord. It was one of the time when I was visiting you a couple times ago.
Right, but I was writing it as we were doing it, but I don't see it in my physical notes, so that's why I just pinned it in our chat. I think that's where I took the notes.
Oh, really?
I think so. Because I went to all the pages.
Oh, you sent it to me afterwards.
Yeah. To make sure,
Okay, cool.
yeah. I as you said it, I wrote it down and I said, okay, so here's how I would do the mechanics on this.
Yeah.
And you looked at it and said, yeah, that looks right. Because that's the only thing I can find that makes sense. Like, all the other places I would have put it, it's not in. So I think that's it. That should have been pinned. I did it on my phone. I remember doing it on my phone. So that's why it didn't cross my mind to leave it. Sorry about that. So yes, now we have it. Yeah, that one's fun. It is terrible.
It is nasty.
It's so nasty.
I'm very happy with it. Out of character, I'm very happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Laramendas is not happy with this. He looks as if he's seen a ghost.
Did you try this at some point? Is that why you're so scared of it?
Yes, and it was that experience that convinced us to never again make it and sell the knowledge to a Fae. This is not a good thing.
This very much sounds like something I would like to know how to make.
Well, no one here can teach you. We sold the knowledge to a Fae.
At least tell me if you have to drink it or if I can inject it into someone.
We don't know, she says, like, finally, like, releasing Lara and turning back. And she's got her hands in front of her like she's pleading. You can see her eyes are wild. She's like, we sold all the knowledge about it to the Fae.
I'm going to assume that means that you've forgotten everything. Like, literally you sold knowledge.
Yes. We don't know anymore.
Okay. Do you even know
Yeah,
what
I'm
Fae you
starting to
sold it
understand
to?
how this place... Ugh.
Part of the deal.
Do we know who we sold it to? Out of character?
No. Part of the knowledge you sold was who you were selling it to.
It seems like a good idea.
That's disappointing.
Other character, is this the same bottle Leah looked into?
No.
No, doesn't remind of that?
It's reminiscent, but it's a bit different if you're looking at it. This one, at first you think it might be the same because you see the little glints of starlight inside it again, but even as that shiver runs up your spine, you realize that it's not the same stars. that these are actually there in the bottle, as they you see splashes of deep blue and purple swirling in the mixture, as though you're looking up into the night sky. The stars you saw in the last one were multicolored stars against a solid black background. This is more like real stars.
Also, it's slightly wrong.
Was it Vysandrius? Is that the guy who taught me how to make goo bombs?
Vysandrius, yes.
Yeah. Maybe he'll know what it is.
Do not give that to him.
Who's Vysandrius?
He is a colleague of mine at the university.
He's a cool guy.
He specializes in the more dangerous of the alchemical arts.
Some friend to have.
You cannot give that to him. And he would not be able to. I doubt that he has the tools and knowledge to properly create that.
Well, that's disappointing.
I want Lair and Vendar to each roll me 2d6 and tell me the result.
Okay. Oof. DM it to you or tell you?
Let me just say it out loud.
Okay, I got a 4.
A 4, okay.
Got 9.
Got a 9. Vendar, you have this inkling in the back of your mind. You as you are imagining telling giving this thing to Vysandrius, you can almost see him in your mind's eye, smiling that crooked smile at you, shaking the bottle in front of his face, and nodding up and down excitedly before saying to you in that lilting voice of his, "I think I can figure this out. No code is truly unbreakable."
Well, I bet he'll be able to figure it out. Never met anybody.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we're not going back to the university anytime soon. Tragic, then.
Good thing you're in charge of all the travel.
I'll find a way. By the way, you talked to Nalia?
Yes, it is the 11th.
Fuck! We gotta go.
You have a wedding to attend, I heard.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
You should definitely not bring that with you, she says, pointing with her eyes to the vial in your hand.
That'll be fine. I'll slip it in my bag of holding.
There is a long-held breath, a silence expanding between you before the room rattles somewhat. And you hear Pa calling up from below, "I think we're here!"
Oh, thank God.
Which one?
Vendar will turn away. Day-night, of course. Vendar will turn around and go downstairs.
That boy
Devil
is
will
gonna
shrug
get
and
you
follow.
in trouble. Jebel follows Vendar, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Leah?
Right now, yeah, staying with Laramendes.
Okay. You just have Mama Mendes watching them depart, shaking her head, double checking on Lair, still got an arm around him protectively.
So wagon come to a stop, or is it still rolling?
No, it's stopped.
Mom Mendes, can I borrow Lara Mendes just a little bit?
While this is going on, I just Jebel is going to recommend to Vendor that we let people know we're just going to pop maybe into a nearby bit of the forest just to see if we can forage any of these reagents.
Okay. As you head down, you can see that Yukikaze is sat there with Pa. They're still kind of like chatting a little bit. You let them know that you're going to go out and look for some reagents. Pa seems unaffected by this information. He just says, "Okay." Yuki, do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay. Nobody stops you.
And I will say to them, like, shout for us, if we're not back in time.
Or have Lair send.
Well, Pa doesn't respond to anything if right, so...
I mean, you're sat right there. You can say anything you want.
No, I mean, but we were talking. Were we listening? Was Pa listening what they were doing?
You mean upstairs? No, you weren't privy to that.
Oh, okay.
That was happening 2 floors above you, while he was driving the wagon and asking you about Lair's magic.
Yeah, so, yeah. Then I have nothing to say.
Okay. Your friends are going to leave the wagon and go off into the forest alone.
So, wait, why are people leaving? Like, we heard we're here, but like they're just getting out before everyone else?
While you're getting ready, we're just going to look for reagents for potions because this is the only place that you can get them.
Cyrus is still studying. You
I
popped
guess...
straight downstairs and booked it. The only people you talked to about the fact that you're leaving are Pa and Yukikaze.
Well, let's go.
So off they
No,
go.
out of character, I know that Cyrus is there. I was explaining it to Derek.
Yeah. So, Ma will look to you, Leah. You know, you can see the heartbreak on her face, and she turns back to there, and placing her hands, cupping his face in her hands. She just says, "Be careful. You know what you're dealing with."
And I hope to properly impress upon everyone else what they don't know.
I have concerns that you'll be able to do that, but keep yourself safe.
Hermendus will nod and then turn to Leah.
It's just going to walk to the door, look back at you once more, and then take hold of the handle, say, "I love you, Leia."
Love you too.
And she closes the door, and you can hear her walk away.
Hermendus turns back to Leah and just, looks expectant, waiting for what you need.
Okay, so, I was kind of bored and was looking around, and I found this secret room that had, paintings in it, and a lot of other stuff. It also had a cabinet filled with bottles, alcohol, most of it. But one of them was this bottle with it looked like black with multicolored stars in it. And when I looked into it, it scared me. It felt like I was getting sucked into it. I might have panicked and broke a few bottles.
Was anyone hurt? Or did you clean up the mess?
No, I ran away. there was no one there.
Out of character yet. Perhaps we should just go make sure that there's no broken glass or anything when we go to leave. I'm impressed you managed to find one of the stashes.
Well,
You know whose it
yeah.
was? Laramentis says as he opens the door to begin walking.
You find that you are face to face with a mob of cousins.
No, I was more worried about what that bottle was. Considering you had this darkness thing. I don't think it was the same, but it looked reminiscent in a way.
Out of character. Was that just Starlight?
Huh? No.
Okay. Do I know what it is?
From her description, you do.
Okay.
It goes by one of two names. Either simply like the Bottle of Night, they call it Bottled Moon's Shadow, or Penumbra Potion.
Okay. That was a Bottle of Moon's Shadow. Which is it just like, or you said Penumbra Potion, so it doesn't have some effect other than being an extremely intoxicating liquor.
Think Love Potion number 9. It's an extremely intoxicating liquor that is also an incredibly potent charm.
Oh, okay.
It has pretty much one purpose.
You should not drink that.
I didn't want to. It scared me. But if it's like, is it dangerous?
Well, it's in the wrong hands, yes.
Right. Your family sure has a lot of secrets, don't they?
Well, we, people from all different walks of life can find their way here, and we take them in. So everyone has their own stories that lead them to where they are. Now, shall we clean up and find out whose stash it was that you raided?
Raided is such a strong word. I didn't steal anything.
Pity.
Come on, I thought you were supposed to be I thought you were supposed to be the good one.
There's some good stuff that you can't find anywhere else. It's been a while. He has a very mischievous grin on. And then goes to the gaggle of people.
Seeing many faces of Laramentis these days.
Is everyone all right?
Everybody out in the hallway, the chatter between them dies down as you open the door and step out. They all, turn and look at you. And a bunch of them seem to look past you toward the still open door, seemingly waiting. Does Leah remain in Larry's room, or,
No, she's coming with him, but staying very close to him.
They are all...
Looking a bit ashamed.
They are all staring at you, Leah.
She hides her face in Laramentis' cloak.
Laramentis will say, I heard that there was a bit of a mess that I think we should probably assist in cleaning up.
We've taken care of it. We were trying to figure out who had caused it. But that's okay. Now we know. In light of the fact that your friends are leaving, I'm going to let this one slide. But everyone, and she like rounds, pointing it in a circle around everyone, better stay out of my stash from here on out, and know that I'm moving it once we're all gone.
Laramendus is going to lean towards her and whisper a location and a series of knocks and say, I hope that helps. And then...
She, like, narrows her eyes at you as you pull back, seeming to, like, reevaluate you for a moment. And then with kind of a scrunched up pout, she kind of nods, and then goes back to raging at the others. You do, as you move away from this, catch that poking out of one of the pouches on her belt is the neck and stopper of a bottle. And inside, as she moves and animatedly speaks to those, you can see black liquid sloshing.
I guess that one made it. Well, if we are here, and we are on the deadline that we have, he says to Leah, we should probably make sure we gather everyone and get ready to find Raiken and leave as soon as we have him. Yes?
Yes. We should.
Laramend is going to go and check on the rooms that people had stayed in, just to see if any of us are still in those rooms.
Before that, I see Leah's going to like pettily look towards the girl that owned the stash and be like, I'm sorry for breaking some of your bottles.
She, turns back from the crowd, and she's glaring at you at first, but finally she just folds her arms over her chest, kind of looks off to the side and says, apology accepted. Just, be careful out there. And she turns to leave before calling over her shoulder and says, we don't perform for Fae for a reason.
Thank you for the warning. She can follow after Laramendus.
You quickly find Cyrus still poring over the Book of Endless Pages on his bed. You can see he's actually cobbled together his own notes in what appears to be a journal.
Laramendus will smile, a very genuine smile, as opposed to the mischievous smirk from before, and say, I hope that the notes were beneficial. We're here, and we should all be preparing to leave as soon as possible.
What? We're here? Your notes, while helpful, are rather thick. It's taken me a while to make any progress at all.
When we have a bit more time, I can try and help explain some of the shorthands that you'll end up running across.
Well, I'd appreciate that. Could you give me a hand packing this up? My book's not as, convenient as yours.
Just got notes scattered on loose leaves all over the place that need to be bound back into the book.
Yep.
Laramendus provides what assistance he can.
Alright. between the two of you. It doesn't take too long, a few minutes, and everything's ready to go. Katsuya is not far off, I believe. Also in the rooms up here.
Yeah. If Tatsuya knows that they're close, then he'll head down to get out.
Alright. So you hear him stomp by after he's gathered his armor and weapons and belongings. Outside the room as you finish binding everything back up for Cyrus. So you're just missing, Yukikaze,
Most important.
Jebel, and, Vendar. But you know that Jebel and Vendar, left, after asking you about the, bottled night.
So,
They should be downstairs.
Luminous will go downstairs, yeah.
Okay. So the rest of you go downstairs. You find
Yukikaze.
Yeah, you find Yukikaze and Pa.
Where did Jebel and Vandar go?
You're directly directing that at me.
He's directing that at the both of you, hoping that somebody will answer his question.
I'm not sure. I was in the discussion with Pa.
They said something about, reactants.
Where did they go?
Out the back, like everybody. Something about some nearby trees.
They're collecting things from the forest outside of a phase domain.
I have given your friends all the warnings I have breath to give. At this point, it's on them.
I suppose I will have to take in a big breath. Let's go and stop them before they make a mistake. And Laramendus sprints.
Too late, and I start going after him slowly because halfling.
I go after him, but yeah, at the same speed because half elf.
Yuki, are you going to part from Pa?
Yeah, I'll say Pa, knowing what's out there, probably should go assist in case something goes awry.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Yukikaze.
It was a pleasure to talk to you, Pa.
I appreciated all the stories that you were able to tell me, and I hope that the information I gave you about the Feywild will help you, and perhaps even your group, survive.
Well, hopefully we don't have to use it here in a moment.
You're gonna. Just know that I won't be here when you get back.
Alright, well, hopefully we'll see you guys sometime in the future.
Possibly. He smiles. Gives you a pat on the shoulder, like reaches up and just sort of like pats you on the shoulder and says, "Get on out of here."
And I'll get up and go.
And the moment the last person is out the door, you hear a yah, and the wagon starts pulling off. And a moment later, you hear one of the cousins go, "Pa, the door's still open!" And you hear a thunk as it gets pulled shut. And you hear it creaking away, disappearing beyond the trees as you run out to find your friends.
I would have made sure I had everything on me before I left.
Yeah. You've all got all of your stuff. You were all well aware that the end was coming, so you wouldn't be caught surprise on that. Yeah.
I am in Tailspire, by the way, but in the wrong board.
Oh. Let me fix that. Let me remember how to fix that. Let me there. Summoned. There we go. Been a while since I've used this program.
Yeah.
Alright. So, and if I... Not that. This. Fetch. It should have been dragged over to where your character is.
I already was by my character.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know where I would set you.
Yeah, I just you made me move like half a square to the left.
Do Vendor and Yukaze need like control of a character or something? Because on the sidebar for me, for Cyrus and Leah, it shows. Yeah, okay.
I mean, for me, it shows that you're blank, Sam. This might be a new system feature that it...
Huh.
Are you able to grab your character?
I think so.
There
I
we
can
go.
move mine around.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. It just needed an update, that's all. Okay. So,
Weird.
why don't you, 5, excuse me. I can totally count. Why don't you 5, not, Vendar and Jebel, quickly roll me some perception. Tell me what you get.
Nice out.
I got
16.
18. You
Alright.
did amazing.
16, 18.
Let's see. Perception.
I got no bonuses.
Tatsu is very decent at perception.
Nah.
25.
Wow.
You got a 20.
Nice.
Yukikaze was just,
15.
Yukikaze was?
Yukikaze was just thinking about his conversation with Pa and just thinking to himself how nice the family was and rolled a 3.
He's still distracted by thoughts of those meals and those fireside chats. Between everybody but Yukikaze, you kind of get you hear some murmuring carrying through the forest. You kind of get a general direction. You can, as you grow closer, you hear some scuff of boots. But Tatsuya, you perk up your Dragonborn ear holes, and you immediately start scanning your surroundings with your dragon eyes, and you take notice, like doing mental calculus there. You see, broken branch, footprint in the soft ground. A leaf that's been plucked over there, and you're immediately able to go, they went that way.
Onward! That direction!
All but forgetting
No
about this
over there.
massive, incompleted structure that you've just been let off in front of. You dash off, and several seconds later, you have caught up with the human and the gnome, as they are picking their way through some thick brambles, and Jebel is describing the types of plants he's looking for. You can see each of them has a few flower petals and toadstools in their hands, or their fingers, brown with the soil. They seem happy.
What are you
Lariman
guys
comes, like walks up to them, hand on each shoulder, and says, "Stop that now."
Huh?
Time to go get
stop what
Raiken.
you're doing.
You're just getting yelled at by two people.
We just need some reagents.
We are currently in a Fey domain. Everything around us belongs to that Fey. It is
We're in the Feywild.
not
We've
a
always
good
been.
idea to go about taking things without permission.
We also didn't come here for stuff, for poisons. We came here for Raiken.
Yeah, but there is some stuff that we can only get in the Feywild, so we thought we'd just grab some stuff while we were here. You guys are taking so long.
You should not do that in a Fey domain without permission.
Oh, I hate it here.
But before we go into Autumn's Elegy, the building, I feel like it might be beneficial to reiterate some guidelines to everyone for how we should comport ourselves here. First and foremost, everyone should be courteous. Lord Zintharamil is powerful, and any of his guests are also likely powerful. We don't want to be a bother to anyone. You should, as I just said, avoid taking things. And even with permission, you should also probably be careful, just depending on the strings that might come with that permission, what you might be trading for it and the like. In that vein, don't make any deals. Don't make any gifts. Don't accept any gifts.
Don't agree to anything.
Exactly. Talk as little as possible. Be honest, but not forthcoming, as lying might be discourteous. But do not overly share anything to anyone here. That includes Lord Zintharamil.
Man, this place sucks.
My goal...
What did we just say about being courteous?
My goal here is that
be honest.
Be able to go in, find Raiken safe and sound, and be able to teleport away as soon as we have him. We'll see if that plan lasts beyond first contact with Raiken.
It probably
Better.
won't.
If I miss that wedding, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Well, then stop looking for stuff.
We were
It's
waiting
just
for
from
you!
the Feywilds.
Yes?
I can see where you left.
While they've been talking, I would have searched out to see if I can feel Lorelei close.
The range on that is 100 feet?
Yeah.
I can do a measure, but I think she is beyond that.
"100 feet, 1 centimeter."
Wait. Yeah, she is not within 100 feet of you. But you know this building is large, so it's still within reason that she could be within.
Yeah. Have I seen anything familiar yet? Do I feel like I've been here before?
You do get a kind of a familiar feeling. It's like the same but different, right? You know, how do you describe that feeling? You feel like you've been here when it was a different place.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know how you could possibly. This is such a weird thing to describe. Like, it's as though you recognize the soul of the place, even though its form and maybe even its location have changed.
Yeah, man, it's like you're visiting a city you've been to before, but there's been construction.
It's definitely more than that, but yeah, it's good enough. When you were here before, as I said, it was wild growth and jungle, and there was not but the sound of animals all around. The place teemed with life. And now there is this massive structure of this gleaming marble-like stone in front of you. And as you can look into this open facade and see that even just within the doorway, the stones are the gleaming white stones extend for a distance and then are replaced with these old, decayed, cracked, aged stone. That this place is simultaneously new and bright and gleaming, and also old and crumbling.
Curious. Yeah, I just curious.
It seems to you that this makes a sort of sense, as autumn is that time, the end of summer, as things begin to close up and die in preparation for winter. Some plants come to the end of their life or the end of their perennial cycle, while other things, winter plants, are just trucking on. And so it kind of feels like a part of this place, at least, is the manifestation of that meeting of life and death in autumn. Between winter and spring on the other side. And as you stand here, arguing with the thieves over taking things from the Fae and how to deal with the Fae, there is a rush of chill air that swirls and pulls fallen leaves up in a cyclone amongst you. And I still can't do really cool tokens, so this is mostly representative, but you recognize this larger-than-life version of the Fae that once traveled with you. You'll remember that he had bark-colored skin on his upper torso. His legs were here seen, looking much like a man-sized satyr, and his face was framed in curling and straggling brown hair that you could see, moss and vines entwined in, crowned with this massive composite rack of antlers. His eyes wide and dark as those of a deer, and his nose flattened to his face and soft. This man, much resembling that, however, now garbed regally in leaves and the gossamer of Maud's wings. Clearly his clothing comprised of natural elements of the forest around him, both its flora and its fauna, stands among you and looks around. And he smiles a bit, lightly, and says, "I didn't expect to see you in my domain."
I'm trying to... No. There. The controls are difficult.
Leah's friends, I welcome you to Autumn's Elegy. It isn't yet complete, but it is far better off now than it was when last we spoke.
Hi, Sin. I'm gonna rush up to him.
He turns and looks down at you. He actually lowers himself to your level and smiles with those dark eyes and his broad mouth. And to yours, you are very surprised by his 10-foot stature. Not like the normal adult medium creature he had seemed to be before. Says... You, go ahead.
You've grown.
Yes. I have been able to realize new form in my new power. But I have chosen to remain familiar to you. Form suits me, I think. I regret, that I must ask you while you are here to refer to me as Lord Zintharamil, as certain formalities must be respected in the courts of the Fae.
Oh, of course. Lord Zintharamil. Right, she just bows her head.
Only so much formality is required of my favorite warlock.
She cooks them a smile.
He leans in a little closer and says, "You're still my only warlock, but I must let the others believe that I intend to have more."
She looks around and... Do I see anyone but us here?
He has seemed to have come out to you. He is definitely referring to people he believes are nearby, speaking of us and them and we. So you imagine that perhaps within the building there are others. And he rises again away from you, Leah, giving you that herring smile. And he looks around at the group before saying, "What do I owe the honor of your visit to my domain?"
Looking for Raiken.
Ah, of course. How to respond to that? I would like it if he could continue to serve at my side.
We kind of need him to stop the dragons.
He hands his gaze across the group once more and says, "But it seems you have found another capable dragonborn."
Not the same.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. We'd rather have Raiken back. Maybe he can stay with you.
Hey.
When I have some courtesy, please.
I do not suck.
I do not wish to disappoint Leah, but he has given me his oath. And he does seem to struggle to formulate how he wants to say things now. He very clearly doesn't wish to upset you. I have concerns that returning him to you would only put you in greater peril.
We're already
Kinda go looking
facing...
for it.
We're already facing the daughters of Tiamat. What greater peril could there be?
Over the last many of your weeks, I have spent time discussing with Lorelei, and through her observing the actions of your group. And I feel that while your cause is still just, still what we drew our pact upon, that the individual actions of this Raiken bespeak a recklessness and an ignorance of the interrelations of certain aspects of the world. And I believe that he uniquely can take a bad situation and make it worse.
Yeah, telling you think that about Raiken? Tatsuya there? Way worse.
I am sorry. I do feel that it is for the best. I swore my oath to protect you, Leah. He is safe here, as you are safe from his poor decisions.
There's countless of others that make poor decisions. I make poor decisions all the time.
And of all of us, who makes the worst decisions? Tatsuya.
I do not know this Tatsuya on any personal level.
There's a reason the dragons are away.
So that we may kill them.
You're an idiot.
I do believe it was foolish to awaken all of the dragons. But if you can kill them, then everything will be right again, won't it, Leah?
But we kind of need Raiken for
killing-
that. He's the champion of court. Killing things is what he does.
One more time, Vendar.
Killing them would be much easier with Raiken.
So it's pretty much the same thing I said.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. He talked under you.
I like what Raiken is known for is killing things.
I feel that if he were to spend some more time with me, it would do him a great deal of good. I have already observed him interacting with the members of my court and those who would ally with me in my cause, and he has been exemplary as a knight of my court. Much progress has been made in so little time.
Wait, are you teaching Raiken manners?
I am attempting to do so.
That sounds like a losing battle.
On
It
the
would be easier
contrary,
to teach it would be easier to teach an ape to fly.
I feel that it is quite simple to make an ape fly. However, I have had great success. He has not insulted any of my guests, and when my court has been threatened, he has stepped up to the challenge and succeeded.
I'd like to see this for myself.
I do think it would be best if you do not. I have made such strides with him, and I can return him, just not yet.
Why not?
Because he is an unfit guardian to Leah. On this we both agree.
Wait, he agrees
Wait,
on that?
what? Hold on. I don't remember Raiken agreeing that he said that.
You're not here to argue in your own favor, though.
I don't know, I think he's the best guardian she's ever had.
I noted can return him and not will return him.
I actually need you to expound a little bit for the DM's sake as to what you're getting at.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
That's what he said. He
Oh.
said I can return him, but not yet. No, I will return him.
Ah, you noticed that. Shit. I am heartened to hear all of you speak so highly of the man, but I just don't think that he is yet ready. He will serve well and learn much as a knight of my court, and when he returns to you, I believe that he will be quite prepared to carry out his duties.
Why can't you at least let me know? Let me know why you took him. Just taking him and Lorelei away without any words. Let us hear.
I am sorry. My need was great, so I had to call upon the oaths of my knights. We were under attack.
Why didn't you bring us all here? Why just Raiken?
I can only bring Raiken here, and Lorelei.
Wait, so you had already knighted him before you called him?
Yes, of course. I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise.
When did you do that?
Time is odd. He was not on the material plane when we did it?
Very not
When he
in the
was
material plane.
asleep.
It was a really nice inn, I suppose?
I turn and look at Larmendis and I go, is he talking about?
The mansion?
Your mansion?
Well, that is not on the material plane, and it serves a similar function to an inn, I suppose.
And it's really nice.
Was that when Leah caught Lorelei having snuck into Raiken's room?
As a DM, I won't answer that question. You could ask Zim.
Wouldn't Leah remember that?
Oh, yeah, it was a week and a half ago. A week ago.
Yeah. That's why I asked you. I was like, because I'm trying to rattle my
You
own
would
memory.
remember that was a very strange moment that you were very worried about. And
Okay.
now with this new information, you could draw the conclusion that that's what was happening. I will not stop you from drawing that conclusion.
I caught Lorelei having talked to Raiken behind my back a while ago. Was that then?
I do not know what Lorelei might have spoken to Raiken about, but I needed her to convey my words. I spoke with Raiken while he was off the material plane in a nice inn. And it was then that he chose to become my knight.
It's like Raiken needed the talking to.
It's so confusing. It's not like Raiken to like go away from this path. Like fighting these dragons is all he's been talking about since I first met him.
I don't think he has abandoned that path. He's just coming to understand, with my help, that he has accepted a great responsibility in protecting you, and does not wish to fail it.
Yet by taking him without a word led me into greater dangers.
Did it?
Yeah, we fought this lich-like creature that gave me a bit of a beating.
You mean when you followed him here?
Yes.
Yeah. Dangerous here.
Don't mean to worry you, but without Lorelei or Raiken by my side, I was in the midst of it.
Why did you follow him here?
Because we need him. We care about him. He's part of our family. When he disappears, we thought it might be in danger and wanted to find him.
You love him?
Of course. He's the closest to a father I ever had.
isn't he your father?
Well, yes, but he's only been that for a few months. Before that, I was an urchin.
I did not know you could become a sea creature.
Well, no, not a sea urchin, an orphan, someone without family.
So you accepted the help of Zephyr. Companionship.
Yes, because I was alone, and he offered me friendship, offered me to not be alone, and as a dumb little girl, I agreed without question. It's only after talking to you I started questioning his actions.
It's true. And I am glad that you have grown so. But I still feel that you are best served, especially now knowing that Raiken must remain.
Still can't understand why you wouldn't let me know that before.
As I said, time passes strangely here. I haven't taken hold of the magic well enough to control the flow of time in my domain. For us, Raiken has only just arrived, perhaps an hour ago.
Are you kidding me?
For a day?
You know what day it is in the real world? In the material plane?
I don't know what meaning that would have for me. You could say a number. 5. Is it 5?
Oh,
It's 38, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh,
you know how
damn
much
it, 38.
faster time is? Oh my god, we gotta go.
Wendell
you
is stressed because he needs to make a wedding.
Of
My
course.
sister's getting married. I promised her I'd be there.
So you will leave Raiken in my care?
We came here for him. Please, just let him come with us. At least to the wedding.
I cannot.
Why are you so determined to have him stay here?
Because I have sworn to protect Aaliyah. And he has sworn to me to protect Aaliyah.
But how is keeping him away from Leon unable to protecting her?
Because he is not yet ready to fulfill that duty.
What do you think you're gonna teach him?
To protect Leah.
How?
How do you teach one anything?
How are you gonna teach him to protect Leah better than he already is?
You question my judgment in this, Leah?
I don't know, it's all very much.
Well, how long is it going to take you to get control of time here?
I do not know. I do not
What?
know how much time has passed in your world.
If you just
Over a
arrived,
week.
yeah, and if you don't get control of time relatively quick, Leah could grow old and pass away before he's even close to ready.
Or, we'll end up fighting a dragon without Raiken and she could die.
There is empathy in his eyes. He looks like his heart breaks for you, as though he wishes he could give you what you want. But something prevents him. Something is keeping him from doing that.
What are you not telling us about this?
There are things that I, as guardian of this place, as a keeper of souls such as Leah's, must understand, must do my duties. deal of my power comes from the bond that Leah and I shared. So what I must ask is a very painful question. What will you do if I refuse to return Raiken to you?
I don't know.
It's important. And there is pleading in his eyes.
It's also important that I have someone.
No, your answer is important, Leah. What will you do if you disagree with the judgments that I make?
I don't know what it would do.
If I tell you now that I am going to hold Raiken here, and you may never have him, what
Never?
will you do?
She starts breathing heavily and looks very perplexed. It's like grabs hold of her head and just falls to her knees, just heaving.
And the rest of you see that Zintharamil is grimacing deeply, his eyes closed as he also breathes. He does seem to be in pain.
Can't you see what you're doing to her? How is keeping Raiken here helping anybody?
It's a danger.
Everything's a danger.
He is a danger because of her trust in him.
What if we promise to keep him in check? We will also protect Leah. We have been.
Cannot keep him in check. He is like the Fae. He is
So are you.
chaos.
I keep my trust in you as well.
So I ask you again. And you can see that he is gritting his teeth in pain. What will you do if I hold him and send you away?
I cannot lose more. I lost so much. You gave me an ultimatum between losing two things I love. I cannot choose.
You have to. I'm sorry. It always hurts. And that he is clutching his breast and falls to one knee.
I can't choose between you and my father.
And he raises his eyes to make contact with yours, and our patron proves the villain. What do you do? You've done it before.
Don't ask me to do that.
Leah. Please. For both our sake. You know what the right thing is.
I would like to subtly cast Detect Thoughts.
Sure.
I have no idea if it'll work on a Fae, but I'm gonna give it a try.
I'll send you a message.
You are instantly met with your death.
I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. Although I know you're good at them, it's going to be pretty high DC.
Alright. Which Dragonborn am I next to?
Yukikaze, I believe.
Yukikaze.
Okay.
So you're not
Just
benefiting
double-check.
from an aura?
Yep. That's why I'm checking. Alright. Total is 21.
Okay. Okay. So, Leah, he is on his knees, clearly in pain, asking you to tell him the answer to the most painful puzzle. Have you come to a decision?
When I closed my bone with Zephyr for you, it was because of Zephyr having evil intent. He wanted to see the world burn. He wanted to be a god and destroy all.
And
You are taking someone dear to me,
is that
but I'm just one person,
not also evil?
not in any way to the same extent. It's cruel and confusing, but evil?
So how will you solve the situation?
Normally I would try to persuade, but I don't know what more I could say.
And so when negotiations break down, what do you and your friends do?
We fight, but I do not wish that.
You never wish violence.
And why are you trying to make me? I don't want to fight you. I don't want to lose you. But I don't want to lose Raiken either.
May have no choice but to fight if you want him back. Would you not? Would you choose to leave him with me instead? For me to do as I will with?
How long?
Forever.
Forever? Why?
He is
Forever.
mine! He has sworn himself to me. He goes where I say.
But how? He swore so he could protect me. How could he protect me? How could he be a father figure to me if it's not there?
As it is my will. It's my will.
But can't you see it's hurting me?
Yes. Again. Badly. say?
The only way to make me stop me from hurting is if you give him back.
Then they try to sneak away.
Is another way. You can try to sneak away.
It's 31.
Okay. And you go and creep into a bush toward Elegy. And as you creep out the other side of the bush and look for the next bush to dive into, you find yourself creeping out over here. Toward the confrontation again.
Say loud.
You notice something is happening at this point, Leah. His form is deteriorating, as though he is being wounded physically.
You're hurting.
Yes! It hurts! Both of us. Breaking a bond hurts. But if the bond is for ill, it must be shattered.
What will happen to you if you do that?
What will happen to you if you don't?
I will just be alone again. Either way, I will be alone again.
Don't be alone.
Stop making me.
Yeah. Please. Remember, Zephyr. People can change or conceal their true self. Please.
So can Raiken. Give him a chance to change.
Choose life. You all feel the ground shaking a bit, and you hear the rattling of stones, rumbling of the building behind you. Almost like an earthquake is beginning. I can't do this much longer. Leah, please. You know the answer.
Out of character, I don't.
I think Leah would, though. So... we've been through enough with him, and he has said enough here that it should be plainly obvious to your character.
Okay. Fine. If I have to fight you, I must.
You would?
We need Raiken. I need Raiken.
Because he loves you.
And I love him.
Ah! He, falls to all fours at this point and begins heaving breaths, wheezing in pain, and slowly the rumbling that was building in the ground around you subsides.
Yukikaze has weapons drawn now.
The eye is on all four as well.
You would fight me if you disagreed with what I was doing. Yeah.
I would.
Good. I'm so sorry that I had to put us through that. It is incredibly difficult for Fae to defy their nature. It hurt me and the land, as you saw. I couldn't allow you to go through again, but you did with Zephyr. I needed to know, sure, that if I ever came not the person you forged your pact with, that you would be able to go. Because you must be true to yourself, Leah.
That's why you did all this? To test me?
Oh, yes. But no, not just a test. To protect you. If anything happens to me, you must know that your job, who you are, is one who cares and protects. And so if I stop being that person, you must be able to stop me, to protect yourself from me. This is what Raiken is still learning to do. It brought me nothing but pain to do this. But I feared greatly that I could become another Zephyr for you. I don't expect you to be able to forgive me now, but I hope that you understand. I worry for you your friends and the choices that you make, and how they affect you and the people around you. As a Fey Guardian of Protection, that is my job. I have learned something while we've been apart.
That is.
Zephyr. Whatever he is, demon or devil, his purpose is to corrupt someone who wishes to be heroic. He would make a villain. Someone who wishes to commit atrocities. He would find ways to twist until they were helping. He does not care if it is good or bad for the greater world. He seeks individuals. Individuals of strong spirit and twists them.
Yeah, wipes their eyes and then glances over towards Tatsuya.
Move your character.
I mean, Tatsuya is like right in front. It's like Zintharamil is the only thing in between, so.
Is she crawling past him?
No, she glances. She looks.
Glances.
Sorry,
yeah. I heard crawls for some reason. I'm sorry.
And I know my English is mediocre.
No. I'm sorry. I just misheard. Anyway.
I'm still confused that I heard the name Tatsuya.
Yeah, she glances over at Tatsuya as he says, "The fiend corrupts people."
Hey. I'm not corrupted.
If were to corrupt, for example, me, you need to be able to recognize that I am not myself and cease your support of me. I am sorry. This was a terrible test. I did not think it through well enough.
But you aren't corrupted now, right?
Not to the best of my knowledge. The pain that we experienced was because I was betraying my nature. I was, in essence, corrupting myself.
That wouldn't happen if he had corrupted you.
It wouldn't hurt if he had done it. It would feel right. That's what he was doing to you when you served him before. When you did those things.
Yep, you're right. When I killed those priests, it felt right. When I burned the orphanage, even when I can't remember me doing it, it felt right looking at the smoldering remains.
That's what makes him, beings like him, so dangerous. To believe what you're doing is right. But I had to come to terms with the fact that what I tell you will feel right too. And if it changes subtly, you might not recognize my corruption. But when
If it can corrupt something as powerful as you, what else could it corrupt?
I don't know
Say,
if he can.
could it Could he corrupt the god?
If he achieved the goal that he told you about, maybe. I don't know. Only know that I hated doing this. And I don't want to do it again. But I needed to know. I still need to know. That your bond to me is secondary to your devotion to protecting the people you care about.
It is.
Good. It hurts to hear that. But
And
it's
it hurts
good.
to say, but if supporting you would bring harm towards the world, then I can't allow it.
He's going to struggle to shift his weight from both arms on the ground to just one and reach out towards you with his large hand and long fingers. He lets his hand drift until it is about half a foot away, seemingly waiting to see if you will bridge the gap.
She hesitates, but eventually she will. But with a very shaky arm. She looks extremely pale and drenched.
So to say,
Whatever makeup she took on this morning is all over her face at this point.
Sorry. I swore I would not hurt you. But I realized that I was a liability. And I needed to know that you were capable of hurting me. For your benefit. I thought this would come to blows, and I was prepared for that. I was prepared for you to immediately recognize that I was not to be trusted, and to attack me. I hoped for that. It hurt, but I hoped for that.
You're not right. I mean, I can't. You are yourself.
Yes, I am sorry. You remember when I swore to protect you? We swore to make the world better.
We did.
I realized, as I studied our enemies, including Zephyr, that I could be made to betray that pact. And I knew, some part of me knew, that if that were possible, that you would need to be made aware of it. I thought, and perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps it was too much. I think it was too much. That it would be best to set it up as a visual aid, a recommendation from some of my potential allies.
What now?
Now. Oh, he kind of like leans back off of his arms, releasing your hand, and kind of sits. He's now kneeling before you, and runs his hands up and down his face, like deeply massaging the flesh there. You can see like some of the modeling of his skin is earthen and flakes away, coming off in grit. He says, "Oh, and now I sit for a moment. It is really quite draining to put on an act like that. You humans change your faces so easily," he says, turning somewhat toward Vendar.
A gift.
A curse for me. Leah, sorry.
I said the same. I said a curse. So we jinxed each other.
He simply, upon realizing that you've both said curse, he smiles towards you. All of his smiles are a bit reserved, as it is plain. Like he is hiding nothing about his emotions. So it is very plain to you that he expects you to be very mad at him.
Right now she's trying to dry his makeup out of her eyes, which is stinging like crazy.
So can we have Raiken back then?
Yes. Once I've had a moment. Boy, it would have been easier if you'd only attacked me.
I had to make sure. You prepared for this moment, but I did not.
Yes. As I said, some of my allies convinced me this would be the more informative way of doing this. Oh my gosh, we're over time.
And I'd like to smack one of those allies of yours with the biggest skillet I could find.
Perhaps.
His eyes widen.
Perhaps they are not the allies that I require. In any event, once I've caught my breath, I will take us inside. I will take you to Raiken. He may return with you. I have, as I stated before, had good talks with him, and I believe he has learned much. I can't promise that he won't still be a liability, but at least he'll be more aware. Now then.
What's that
We're over time, so I should end there. I didn't notice that, I was into that scene. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not the type of thing you want to cut short.
Any event. I would like all of you to please take 1100 XP.
Cool.
Aliyah and Vendar, I would like you to take inspiration if you're missing it.
I believe I am. Just gonna...
And, Leah, why
You
don't...
give inspiration to people?
If you don't need it, you may gift it to somebody else.
Anybody need inspiration?
Me.
You can have it.
Yay.
Did you say 1100?
1100. Leah, why don't you take another 50?
Oh.
I'm less than 2,000 away.
2 sessions.
Few more Archfey encounters, and then
Alright, that definitely was intense. I wasn't sure how that one would go. I wrote it up, and the whole thing is filled with, if they do this, if they do this, if they say this.
Yeah. I know that you I hate situations like this in video games, so that's why I like Elise was like sitting back, being like, "Fuck, what do I do?"
He's worried that you might one day have to act
Yeah,
upon this decision.
I got that eventually, but it was very hard right there and then. It's like it would have been easier if the situation was more literally between the worlds, or if it was like if he was threatening to destroy the world, it would be easier. But like just keeping Raiken, it was very difficult to draw that line.
Definitely
interesting in of itself.
Well, he knew what he wanted, but good job.
I had a feeling that's where he wanted me to go, but I was also very worried about what if I do attack him or say that I'm gonna attack him. Like, what if I then just suddenly am without a patron or something? It's like it was very difficult for me to.
Yeah. Then how do we get home? You're the one with
Yeah,
keys.
Yeah, that's true. If I lose the abilities, I'll also lose the
We
way
didn't
back.
really think that through, did we?
Out of character. Look, we're in the Feywild. We can easily find another one.
Wow, rude. Alright.
Not necessarily a good one, but you know.
Alright, I'm gonna call it there. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye, stream.
Good night.